The electric pickup truck segment in China has been building momentum for a while now, but it's still a market where the first serious entrants have a genuine opportunity to define what the category means before the competition fully arrives. Chery's Rely Auto brand has recognized that window and moved through it decisively with the official launch of the R08 EV, the brand's first fully electric pickup and a vehicle that arrives with enough performance, technology, and pricing credibility to make the established combustion-powered players in this space genuinely uncomfortable. Before getting into the vehicle itself, the brand context is worth understanding because it shapes how this launch should be read. Rely Auto isn't a decades-old nameplate coasting on heritage while adding an electric variant to an existing lineup. It was established by Chery on April 20, 2025, less than a year ago at the time of this writing, with a specific and clearly stated mandate to become a global benchmark for value in new energy and intelligent pickups. The brand name is constructed from the words rebuild, explore, link, and yield, which tells you something about the philosophy behind it, even if the acronym feels slightly forced. More meaningful than the etymology is the ambition, which is concrete and committed rather than aspirational in the vague marketing sense. Rely has committed to introducing one new model per year for the next 4 years, making the R08 EV not just a product launch, but the foundation of a multi-year brand-building program. The international dimension of the strategy is also worth noting up front. While Rely operates as the pickup-focused marquee within China, Chery markets the same vehicles internationally under the Himmler nameplate, a dual-brand approach that allows the company to tailor its market positioning to different regional expectations while building on the same underlying technology and manufacturing investment. The BYD Shark 6's global momentum has demonstrated convincingly that Chinese electric pickups can build real international traction, and Chery is clearly watching that story with more than academic interest. The R08 EV arrives at a starting price of 127,800 RMB, which converts to approximately $18,370, rising to 158,800 RMB for the top configuration. That pricing structure immediately establishes the vehicle's competitive positioning. It undercuts most international electric pickup offerings significantly, while delivering a specification level that wouldn't embarrass vehicles costing considerably more. The gasoline-powered R08 that launched in September last year debuted at 88,800 RMB, giving the electric version a meaningful price premium that reflects both the battery cost and the performance step-up. Whether buyers consider that premium justified will depend on their usage profile and their appetite for electric running costs over time, but the absolute number remains competitive enough to attract serious attention rather than simply generating a raised eyebrow at the price tag. The physical dimensions establish where the R08 EV sits in the market unambiguously. At 5,330 mm long, 1,920 mm wide, and 1,890 mm tall on a 3,230 mm wheelbase, this is a proper mid-size pickup rather than a compact city-oriented alternative. Those proportions deliver the combination of cab space and load bed capability that buyers who are actually going to work these trucks need, and they put the R08 EV in direct competition with the established diesel and petrol pickups that have been the default choice in this segment for years. The wheelbase figure is the one that matters most for daily usability. 3,230 mm supports a genuinely useful rear cab space and a load bed that can handle real cargo, rather than the kind of artfully photographed lifestyle payloads that don't actually represent how pickup buyers use their vehicles. The design makes a statement that's worth noting because it signals a deliberate shift in how Rely is positioning this vehicle in the market. A large polygonal grille fills the front fascia with honeycomb-patterned black elements. The Rely logo sits prominently along the upper edge of the hood, and the overall design language combines muscular proportions with contemporary detailing in a way that clearly aims at lifestyle buyers as much as pure commercial customers. This matters strategically because the most commercially successful pickup segments globally have learned that work capability and lifestyle appeal aren't mutually exclusive, and that the buyers who need their truck on Monday morning and want it to look good on Saturday afternoon are a larger and more valuable market than pure fleet buyers. The R08 EV's design reflects an understanding of that dynamic. The powertrain lineup covers the meaningful bases without overcomplicating the decision. The single-motor rear-wheel drive variant uses a 150 kilowatt electric motor producing 350 newton-meters of peak torque for a combined output of 201 horsepower with a 0 to 100 km/h time of 8.8 seconds. That figure doesn't set any records, but in the context of a mid-size pickup with a full-size load bay and a wheelbase approaching 3.3 meters, it's entirely adequate for daily driving and represents a meaningful step forward from the diesel alternatives that most buyers in this category have been using. The rear-wheel drive configuration suits buyers who operate primarily on sealed surfaces and whose primary motivation for going electric is running cost reduction rather than off-road performance or maximum towing capability.
The dual-motor all-wheel drive version is a different conversation entirely. 300 kilowatts of combined system output, 402 horsepower, paired with 540 newton-meters of peak torque and a 0 to 100 time of 5.0 seconds, places the R08 EV AWD among the genuinely quick vehicles in its class, and not just among electric pickups, but across the pickup segment broadly. 5 seconds to 100 km/h from a mid-size pickup with genuine cargo capacity is a figure that would have seemed implausible from a combustion-powered vehicle at this price point, and it illustrates one of the fundamental advantages of electric powertrain architecture: the ability to deliver high performance through relatively straightforward motor multiplication without the engineering complexity and cost that equivalent combustion output requires. For buyers who need all-weather traction capability and occasionally want to remind a Tesla driver that electric performance isn't exclusively their territory, the AWD configuration makes a compelling case. Battery options are structured to give buyers genuine flexibility rather than forcing everyone toward the same compromise. The rear-wheel drive model offers both a 66.54 kilowatt-hour pack and a larger 88 kilowatt-hour unit, delivering CLTC-rated ranges of 405 and 510 kilometers respectively. The smaller battery suits urban-focused buyers who are more sensitive to purchase price than maximum range, while the 88 kilowatt-hour option addresses the range concern that remains the most common objection to electric vehicle adoption among buyers who use their pickups for longer regional journeys. The all-wheel drive configuration uses the 88 kilowatt-hour pack exclusively, achieving 505 kilometers of rated range, slightly lower than the RWD equivalent due to the power demands of the dual-motor system, but entirely competitive for a high-performance all-wheel drive truck in this segment. These range figures operate under CLTC methodology, which tends to be more optimistic than real-world conditions will deliver, but even with a meaningful discount applied, they represent adequate daily and regional usability for the majority of commercial and lifestyle buyers. The technology specification is where Rely has clearly invested development attention beyond what the segment baseline requires. The R08 EV is built around the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8155 automotive-grade processor, the same chipset that powers the infotainment and connectivity systems in considerably more expensive passenger cars, which underpins responsive infotainment operation, over-the-air update capability, and support for the kind of connected applications that buyers increasingly expect even in working vehicle categories. Driver assistance capability reaches level 2 on higher trims, incorporating adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic emergency braking. A few years ago, these features would have been unremarkable on a luxury passenger car, but genuinely surprising on a mid-size pickup at any price. Their presence here reflects how rapidly the technology democratization process has moved in China's automotive market, where the expectation that advanced driver assistance features are a premium segment luxury has been comprehensively dismantled.
The interior steps away from the purely utilitarian philosophy that has characterized pickup cabins at this price for most of automotive history. A three-spoke, multifunction steering wheel anchors a driver-focused layout, and a floating central touchscreen serves as the digital centerpiece, available in either 12.3-inch or 15.6-inch formats, dependent on trim level. The larger screen is a meaningful upgrade that justifies its own specification choice, given how central the infotainment system is to the daily driving experience on vehicles that are increasingly used as much for commuting and family transport as for their commercial capabilities. The interior color scheme blends light brown and black tones with chrome accent detailing, creating an atmosphere that Rely describes as warm and sophisticated, language that sounds like marketing copy until you see the images and recognize that the execution is at least attempting something beyond the gray, hard plastic utilitarian interior that the segment has historically offered at this price point. What the R08 EV ultimately represents is a genuinely complete first effort from a brand that has been established for less than a year. The pricing is competitive enough to attract serious consideration. The performance envelope covers both practical utility and genuinely impressive numbers in the AWD configuration. The range figures address the core electrification concern for working vehicle buyers. The technology specification goes beyond segment expectations in a way that reflects genuine development investment rather than feature list padding. And the design signals commercial and lifestyle ambitions simultaneously, which is exactly the right approach for a segment that has been trending in that direction globally for years. Rely Auto has announced one new model per year for the next 4 years. If the R08 EV is the starting point, that roadmap is worth watching closely.